All right, so we're going to look a little bit at color palettes today, and how we create those, how we manipulate those, and where we can get them from. So the first thing I want to talk about is getting an online color palette or developing your own color palette. And the best place for this is this website, color.adobe.com. And so we're going to go to color.adobe.com. And so this is their website, and this is a free service available to anybody, and it allows you to create color palettes. Now, over here on the left, you get some options. So these are color harmony rules. And so this basically is saying that when you pick your primary color, it's going to automatically select colors that go along with that, that color based on your rule. So analogous, you'll notice here with analogous, if the primary color is this sort of um, ugly green is what I'm going to call it. It's automatically picked out some other shades. It's got a couple of nice brighter greens and some yellows that go along with it. And to change that, I can come up here and just start clicking and drag my mouse around. And you'll notice all these colors at the bottom change to match that. Now, monochromatic gets you just values straight on the same scale. A triad gives you your colors opposite each other, basically in threes, thirds of the color wheel. Complementary are colors on the opposite side of the color wheel that go well together. Split complementary, similar to a triad, but they're a little more focused on the opposite side. Double split, so you have a primary color, and then it creates these opposite complementary colors, and then opposite of those gets your next set of complementary colors. Square gets you the four primaries, plus one slightly darker than your primary there. Compound colors has to do with how the colors are built from each other, and it does that automatically. Shades gives you different shades of the same color, and then you can create a custom one where you mark out each value on your own. And this is really useful if you want something very specific. Now, how do we get these from a website like this into Gravit or something else? And that's down here at the bottom. So with this, it's giving you the color mode, and it starts out in RGB, and it gives you some values and it gives you some numbers. Okay. And these numbers are really important. So for example, I'm going to take I'm just going to let's grab a triad here, and I'm going to make, say, this my triad. So I'm going to take three colors. I'm going to take this left one. Well, no, I'm going to take these middle three. So if I'm looking at this number, you notice it's got a little base color arrow. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look at these numbers. And I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to write those down. So our R value is 224. Our G value is 89. And our B value is 87. And our brightness is 88. So RGB stands for red, green, blue, and those are the primary colors that can be combined to create anything else on a screen. So RGB is considered a screen color palette system. There's another few options in here. You can change it to CMYK, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And those are the color schemes that's used for print. So if you see posters on the wall, they use CMYK generally. These other ones you don't really have to worry about. They're not really going to affect anything. But these are the two we use in class because RGB is for screens, so displays, and CMYK is for when we print stuff. So I have this value. I'm going to click on this one now. I have a different set of values, so I'm going to write those down, 224, 224, 110. Come over here, and I've got 65, 158, 224. Okay. So those are my values, and I'm going to take this, I'm going to jump back to my Gravit, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to create just a random square. Okay, you do have to have an actual object in order to add a color to this. So I've got a square, I've selected it, and now I'm going to come over here to my fills, and I'm going to click on my fill color. Now you notice it starts out in color fill, and it is in RGB. I can also change it down to CMYK if I want to, but RGB. Now down here are where we actually get to put in our values. So my R color, 224, my green color, 89, my blue color, 87, and my brightness value, 88. There we go. We now have a square that matches the color from our website. So what's really nice about this is now I can say, create another one, come back here to my fills and enter in my next value. So 224, 224, 110, leave it at 88. There's my second color. Looking for my third color, 65, 158, 224. And there we go. There's my third color. So I've got all three of these colors. And now what's really cool is now that they've been added in anywhere, when I go back to my fills, I can come down here to this in use box and my colors are there. Okay, they're right there. So these are the colors that you've sort of added to your color swatches. So you've got your basic colors. Obviously, we don't have the Pro, but these are base colors. And then these in-use colors, the ones that we've added to the system. Okay, and that allows you to access them. Now, there's another way to get colors, and that's if you have sort of source material that you're trying to duplicate, and that's with the color picker. So I've grabbed a couple of images just straight off the internet, just to give you an idea of how the color picker works. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna create ourselves a little square, and we're gonna click on it, and we're gonna come over here to fills. Now this time, instead of clicking on the actual color, I'm gonna click on this little symbol. This is the color picker. It looks like a little eyedropper. And you notice it says pick a color from anywhere on the canvas. I'm gonna click here, and you notice it says move cursor into the canvas. And when I do, you'll notice it goes to this. And if I start moving it around, it's kind of like a magnifying lens. It's zooming in on what I'm looking at, and it gives me that little square. So let's say I decide I want part of this orange color. So I mouse over and I'm in the orange zone. Now, the first thing I want to point out is that when you zoom in this far, especially to an image that you've taken, you're going to get a pixelated version. It's not going to be perfect. So you'll notice that I've got a little square, and let's say I click right here, and it grabbed that color scheme as close as it could. Okay, so that works well. Now on that image, you'll know you should have noticed that we got those really bad pixelations, and that's just because of what this image looks like. It's got lots of shades, it's got lots of changes and gradients and color. Um, some images are better than others. This one down here, this color wheel, is designed more as a solid color set. So you'll notice when I zoom over it, each of these boxes is pretty much the same color within itself, versus up here, it's real hard to get a solid color. So if I come down here, I can maybe click right here and get this blue, but these boxes now are available in my in-use box. So it's, again, another way to grab colors and bring them out for you to use in other objects later on. But those are the basics of finding and creating colors. And remember that website, color.adobe.com, is really useful for creating those systems of colors.